Come check out my massive comic haul from the past few weeks. So yeah, this is a few weeks right here. I haven't been able to record or do any of my postings for my comic hauls in the past few weeks. It's just been very busy. So here's a big one, and I hope you enjoy. First up, it's been announced that Jeph Loeb and Jim Lee are returning to Batman, the main Batman series, sometime this year, and we will be getting Hush 2. Now that team, Jim Lee and Jeph Loeb, wrote Hush together, which is one of the most well-known and popular Batman stories. So DC has been reprinting the original Hush issues. So first up, we have Batman 608 holo cover with that gorgeous Jim Lee art. I love this. I actually have the original hung up on my wall over there. And I just love that this has that holo pattern. I also picked up the same issue, but the blank cover. So maybe I'll add that to the ones that I have to get something on here eventually at a Comic-Con. Next up is Batman 609 with this gorgeous Batman, Catwoman, Poison Ivy cover. Carrying on with more main Batman, we have Batman 156. This was a really great issue. This had Batman, kind of after all of the events of the past few issues with Nigma, the Court of Owls, Gordon. This has really started to come to a head, and this was a big Batman versus some goons with going over some riddles that Riddler is giving him in the speakers, and just kind of like the revelation of the end of the issue. I wasn't expecting that, so spoiler alert, Commander Star is actually KG Beast, which I didn't see coming, and especially with, I think that the last time Batman and KG interacted was after KG shot Dick, causing him to revert into Rick Grayson. So I'm going to be interested to see that dynamic and that kind of blow and how that's going to go down in these issues. We also have the same issue with this lovely Dan Hip variant. I love this Batman jumping in the pool of all of his villains, or the snow with all of his villains. I think this is the winter collection that they're doing. I have a few more. But this is the Batman Winter variant. Batman Full Moon number 3 with this amazing glow-in-the-dark cover. The first two issues, I haven't read this one yet, but the first two issues have been really cool. I think that the whole aspect of Batman becoming a werewolf is such a fun story and something to really play with and have fun with. So it's definitely a fun read, and it's fun for like horror fans too. Batman Dark Patterns number 2. The first issue is really good. The first issue, I wasn't expecting to meet the villains so quickly, and I was kind of worried how this issue would kind of tackle that. They built more of a mystery here than I was expecting, and I'm very interested to see how this kind of story goes through. I don't know if this is a limited series or how many issues it's going to be, but this has been a very good story the first two issues. Detective Comics 1092 from Tom Taylor. Batman The Long Halloween, The Last Halloween number 4 by Jeph Loeb. Absolute Batman number 2 second printing. Honestly, I just had to grab that because of that cover. It just looks so badass, and this was a panel from that second issue. And we have the more recent Absolute Batman number 4, which was a phenomenal issue showing the origins of Bruce becoming the Absolute Batman. There's a scene in the first couple pages of this showing this Bruce as like a vampire bat with the teeth, red eyes. Like, it's so crazy, so unexpected, and such a cool kind of origin story for this Batman. Batman Santa Claus Silent Night Returns number 5. Batman and Robin number 17. Batman and Robin Year 1 number 4. World's Finest number 36 with this really cool winter time variant. I love Superman with those shorts, Batman just looking buff as all hell, and of course Superman heating up some like a jacuzzi by the fortress. Another winter variant, we have Nightwing 122. Dick looks so cool snowboarding here. Batgirl number 3. I had never really read a Batgirl issue. Like, it's always been like tie-ins and stuff like that, but this story with Cassandra Cain and her mother Shiva running from this group that's trying to go after them. Cassandra is like inner monologue, and the way she's interacting with Shiva is such good storytelling, and I am such a fan of this story so far. Poison Ivy number 29, again with this really cool winter variant, as well as a stunning other variant cover. Two-Face number 2, Harley Quinn number 45 and 46. I haven't read these Harley Quinn issues since the DC All In started. I have them, but I haven't read them yet. there's just such this huge like movement around these comics and these issues and this story. I'm so interested to see exactly what is going on. I've just heard some things. I don't know exactly what is kind of like the big deal, but I'm very interested to see what exactly is the big deal on these Harley Quinn issues and the direction the story took. Absolute Superman number 3, Superman number 21 from Josh Williamson. I really love this kind of retro cover, and it's like an ad for spring boots so that you can also leap tall buildings like Superman. Action Comics 1081 and 1082. Justice League Unlimited number 2. The first issue was really good. It really lived up to the hype that was kind of going around this story, especially after All In and the team that's in charge of this book. The second issue, it did feel like there was a lot kind of going on, and I wish it kind of focused on a couple, like maybe one or two less things. So I kind of hope that it keels back a little bit. I know it is the Justice League, but it just felt like the story was being pulled in so many places that it was hard to keep up. So I'm hoping the next issue is a little bit better. Crisis on Infinite Earths reprint number 10. The Flash number 16 looks like he's going to be in the Olympics. Metamorpho, the Element Man number 1. This was a very fun issue. This was like the first solo Metamorpho thing that I read, and it was really cool. Like I'm more familiar with him from the episodes of Justice League Unlimited, or I think that was just Justice League. But this comic it did show like some of that history that I'm familiar with, and it was really cool. It's a really cool jumping off point to new readers. Absolute Wonder Woman number 3, DC versus Vampires World War V number 6, new story Aquaman number 1. So during Absolute Power, all these heroes lost their powers, and when they finally got them back, some of them were changed. And Aquaman got the power from Mera, the water kinesis. And I'm not sure how I feel about him taking that power. I kind of wish that he learned that himself, or that was something that he kind of developed. I wish he didn't take it from her. It is nice to have her like as a coach to him, but I wish that it was more so something that he developed on his own, or that he was granted or something like that from like the elders of Atlantis or something to that effect, but not taking it from Mera. But I am interested to see how she gets back, as well as like the ending of this issue. It sets up something on more of a large scale DC universe, comic universe event. So this is going to be something that's very interesting to keep track of. Justice League The Atom Project number 1. Not my favorite number 1. Probably not going to pick it up. It just felt like the story was kind of The humor between the Ryan Choi and Ray Palmer Adams couldn't really save my interest in this issue, and it just wasn't that fun to read. Fantastic Four reprint number 1. What if Galactus turned Hulk into his herald? This was such a fun issue. I loved the fights between the Avengers and Hulk. This was just something, it's a one-shot. It was just such a fun read. I believe Marvel has a few other ones. I think there's a Gambit one. I think there's maybe a Rogue, or there's a few other of these Herald issues. So I'm definitely going to pick these up, especially after how much fun this read was. Deadpool Wolverine number 1, because, Marvel has been pumping Deadpool and Wolverine out of their comics so much since that movie. And we have the concept art from the John Byrne costume that Hugh Jackman wore in the movie. Ultimate Wolverine number 1. This was such a cool issue. Wolverine in the Ultimate Universe is the Winter Soldier, spoiler alert. And it was such a fun, brutal issue. And I'm very excited to see, where this story takes us. Lucky Devils number 1. The same team behind 8 Billion Genies, Charles Soule and Ryan Brown. I haven't been able to read this yet, but I am very excited. I loved 8 Billion Genies. It was such a phenomenal story, so I'm definitely excited to check this out. Feral number 9, love this. And Transformers number 16, I am so excited, especially at the end of this issue. The art here is so cool, and it's just such a fun story. I love this story so far. I love all of the different things that they are able to do in this comic. So this was such a great issue, and I'm excited to see the next one. A couple other things I picked up with gift cards from Christmas. I picked up the Absolute Batman Death in the Family book from Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's run on Batman. I haven't opened this up out of the plastic yet, but this is a really cool slipcover. And I'm just so excited to add this into my collection. I remember seeing it on Instagram. Someone, you know, showing this off, and I just thought it was so cool. And this is such a fun, like, demented, crazy story, and I'm so happy to have the absolute version of it. I also picked up volume 2 of Scott Snyder's run on Justice League. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you thought of my polls.